Hello and welcome to Top 2. I'm Avi Bernard.
I'm Shaun Fletcher.
And I'm Danny Griffin.
Top 2 is the show where we count down our top 2 topics of the week from any area of life, any area of society and culture, whether it's news, sports, politics, or anything else. And then we have a conversation about anything else that's on our mind. Shaun, what episode is this?
Episode 17. We're getting closer and closer to that 20 mark.
17. Let's go. Danny, what's up with you today?
Man, just enjoying this weather, man. Summertime, man. See all the sundresses and the cat daddies out here with the two pieces, with the earpiece and the sandals.
Yeah, you one of them.
No, man. I gotta stay relevant, baby.
Got them annihilated gators.
These are sandals, man.
Them brothers be having that Bluetooth in all day for make one call.
Yeah, they wearing Crocs, but they actual crocodiles with the church socks. You go out and be like, man, why you wearing Crocs out? Like, nah, brother, these crocodiles. Some Stacey Adams
and a linen short suit on.
Oh, you know it's gonna be a matching set.
Oh yeah, you can't wear the same color, man.
With a little bit
just mess it up for everybody.
With a little bit of sweat stains all throughout the shirt, you know. Just,
you already know.
Looking hot,
looking for a cookout.
Don't forget the stingy brim.
You already know. You already know with the Bluetooth in the ear. You already know.
Yeah, what about the bag, the upgraded version with the man bag?
Oh yeah. The satchel.
The flip phone.
I know, out there looking for somebody to take care of.
Laughing like
you already know it's that season.
I will pay a bill for you.
You already know. You already what you need. What you need? Electric.
But they gonna put on their credit card though, because they barely made rent themselves. You know.
Oh, you already know. Dip it into their Social Security. You already know.
Yeah, it is getting closer to summer. I think the summer officially starts on June 20th or something. And it is. We are isn't quite there, but it's getting warmer. This has been one of the coolest years I think ever in LA, and we're finally starting to get a little bit warmer temperatures, but we're not quite there yet. Shaun, what's up with you?
I'm chilling, man. We got similar weather up here in the Bay. We had 1 or 2 days of 90-degree weather this week, and now it's back in the mid 70s, just like I like it. It's perfect. It's not quite summer weather out here just yet. Ain't nobody jumping in no outdoor swimming pools, but it's getting up there, man. Man, I finally got around to watching American Fiction last night.
Oh, yeah.
Finally.
What'd you think?
Out of way. I wanted it to be better than what it was.
Really?
I wanted it to be better than what it was. I love Jeffrey Wright. Have y'all seen
that
it?
movie? I love that movie.
So
I also love that movie.
I think my expectations were off. I'm still for real. I watched it. I cut it off at 1. It was done at 1:30 in the morning. So I'm still processing. All right. In all fairness, I'm processing. All right. Episode 18, I may come back with a different sentiment. For real. Seriously, I might. I woke up thinking about, did I like it? Did I not? I love Jeffrey Wright. I do. Issa Rae didn't really have I thought she had a bigger role. She didn't. She didn't really have a huge role in it.
She did her role that she was supposed to do. You know?
She did her role, but I thought she was a main character. I thought she was a main character. Sterling K. Brown, hometown St. Louisan, my guy. I can watch him in anything. If I could watch him be Christopher Darden, I could watch him be anything.
Another gratuitous St. Louis shout out. Go ahead.
I can. Oh, every time I get. So I was, and I'm not gonna go deep into it because we might end up have to have sort of a cinema breakdown segment one of these shows. But I didn't love the storytelling of it. I don't know if it was writing. I don't know if it was directing. I don't know what. Nothing seemed to have depth to it except Jeff. So Tracy Ellis Ross, we meet her, and 3 minutes later she dead.
Spoiler alert.
So, well, we just talking right now. I mean, if y'all ain't seen it by now, I mean, Oscar season over. I'm late.
You just saw it last night.
I'm late to the party. Yeah, and I'm late to the party. I am late to the party.
There's gonna be a lot of people who haven't seen it.
Disclaimers out there, y'all.
It's a little
I'm
late.
about to talk about it. All right, but it don't matter if you tuning in to watch Tracy Ellis Ross. Spoiler alert, y'all. She lasted about 4 minutes. But who even knew she was in it? Like for real. Who knew she was even in it? I was totally surprised. But anyway, so a lot of these critical moments. Now y'all got me all nervous. I'm all in my head. I don't want. I'm dancing around issues.
Well, we already gave the spoiler alert now, so it's fine.
First of all, if y'all haven't seen American Fiction and you're still interested, I didn't give away nothing of consequence. So still watch it.
It's true. It does happen earlier in the movie. It does happen.
Yeah, it's nothing of consequence at all. So it didn't feel like many of the critical elements of the movie for you to feel connected. It didn't feel like most of them were rolled out properly to where you don't have to go full on into it, right? Like this was what do they call them? Comedy dramas or whatever they are.
Dramedy.
So, dramedy, yeah. While it was positioned as that, right? There were some elements of it I was hoping that they would go a little bit further into it, like his love interest eventually. I was hoping they would kind of connect the dots of how y'all got there so fast, like that type of thing, so I could care that there was, the regular sort of rollout of drama and all that type of stuff. Some of the dramatic pieces of it just felt like I was on the outside watching in. It didn't feel like I was drawn in to the storyline because they didn't tell us. They didn't tell us the gritty detail. Even Sterling K. Brown character, I wanted to know more about it. I wanted to know more about their daddy. I wanted to know more about all of that stuff. So that's why I'm still stewing on it this morning. Like, was that a creative, intentional move to where it's a different type of cinematography and directing to where, all right, get off of the old school way of storytelling that you're used to for movies and all that stuff? That's why I'm still processing it, man. So,
well, I don't know. Some of this is us now being used to the long form storytelling that comes in streaming. You have all these seasons. You have a season of a show, of 10 episodes, and you have another season, and they take their time because that form of storytelling, that's how that works. And then when you go back to watching movies, I've been watching this for a while. I've been mindful of it and how much more quickly things move because you have to tell the whole story in the 90 minutes or 2.5 hours or whatever it is. So in movies, things are going to happen more quickly. And sure, I mean, if you feel like that, your feelings are valid. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just don't agree.
You didn't feel like they shoehorned a couple of elements they could have taken out and given to adding more depth to some critical elements of it?
I really enjoyed the movie, man. I really enjoyed it. I know that sometimes, in movies you have a montage and then years have passed, and that's something that happens in movies that doesn't really happen in the long form storytelling that we're getting more and more used to now. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was a very compelling story about, Jeffrey Wright's character. And I thought it was hilarious in so many ways.
I need to read the book. Did you read the book?
I did not read the book.
It's based off of Erasure by Percival Everett. I didn't even know it was based on a book. Like I said, I had just heard it from all of the Oscar buzz that it had during the Oscar season.
Right.
And I saw all of the people who were in it. And I was like, oh man, I gotta watch this. Mm-hmm. And one thing led to another. And several months later, now I got around to watching it. But I didn't even know it was based off of a book. So I'm gonna have to check it out. Erasure is what it's called. Back in 2001, it came out.
Yeah, it's got a black director making his directorial debut. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was a marvelous film, man. Really entertaining, really, really funny. And yeah, I mean, it like I'm saying, with film now, it does feel a little bit like, yeah, you could get deeper into some of the aspects, but that's kind of the bargain you're making when you watch a movie now, is that, okay, I'm used to watching 10 episodes where they get into every single fucking detail of everyone's life and have all these flashbacks and sometimes 4 episodes of flashbacks, and we get to know everything that was ever said to this person. And we don't get that in film now. And I'm okay with that.
Did you feel like last point, because I could go down the rabbit hole with this. Like I never went into the arts per se, but I consider myself sort of a artistic critic about stuff like this. Do you feel as though we needed to know more about their daddy and how they arrived at all this tension that they kept referencing?
I think they did enough to talk about the father and what was going on. Yeah, we could have learned more. We could have seen you want to have a flashback or two? I mean, you want them to have a more in-depth conversation about it. He was mentioned several times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he his shortcomings, and you kind of get it. I mean, like he wasn't there for them. He wasn't the dad that they needed. And
yeah.
so I mean, for me it worked, you know.
It was a good movie, man. Again, I'm not poo-pooing the movie. It's a good movie. I'm stuck in a place right now of, am I viewing it wrong? Because and no, I'm serious about it. Because as movies started to evolve over the years that I've been watching films of all different genres, you know, comedy, rom-com, dramedies, you know, dramas, all of those. I have tried to always position myself of how should you be watching this so I can interpret it the way that I want to. If it's short form, if it's long form, if it's taking me down a long, thought out, methodical journey of this person's life, and I'm sucked into it, and then new people are all those, even the way that they shoot it, you know, even the way that they shoot it. You want to talk about screwing me up? He didn't do a film, but like you remember when the Hype Williams era came in, you know, of filming video. Like seriously, it threw us off. Of filming music video threw us off. We were like, "What is happening right now?" This Janet Jackson, like, what is happening? Right, we weren't used to it. So I try to take that same thing going into films that I watch, so I don't cut it short of its artistic interpretation of what it's supposed to be. So I'm still processing that part about this film, much to what you're talking about. Was it designed to give me short chunks? Did I consume it the right way? Right? Or did I put, you know, ketchup on a filet mignon? Now I'm screwing it all up. That's where I am. Right?
Well, I mean, I think it's always up to the eye of the beholder. You know, no one can really tell you that you're viewing art wrong if you don't like it. I mean, it just may not be your flavor, you know. So,
but it is though. That's what I want it to be. Like, I want it to be. Like is this Neapolitan to where I just need to cut out the red part? What's the red part of Neapolitan?
Strawberry.
The strawberry. Yeah, like I need to cut out the strawberry,
chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry.
I like the other two. Like
that's funny. That reminds me of an episode of The Simpsons where Homer Simpson, like he says, "Marge, we need more chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry ice cream." And they show the ice cream container, and all the chocolate is gone, but the other two are full. And so, like, why not just get some chocolate? You know.
Hey, I used to hate Neapolitan. I used to hate it, but that's all the church people used to give.
They try to please everybody. The Neapolitans, everyone's attempt to try to please everyone else. It doesn't work. No, it doesn't work that way. Just get 2 different containers. All right.
Neapolitan, get the microcosm for life.
Get 3 different containers. Get a chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. Get each of their own. I'm not sure if your silence is indicative of how you felt about American Fiction or not.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, man.
Okay. Check it out. Check it out.
I feel bad, man, because my man live in the neighborhood too. So
check it out.
I see him all the time, man.
Who's that?
Sterling.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes.
Check it out.
Right. Were you at a party with Sterling K. Brown last weekend or something? I mean,
I went to the LA Urban League dinner, and a few people like that was there. You know, but it was more community based. But you know, the couple of entertainers and celebrities that dibble and dab in the community like to show up.
I just had to give you your opportunity to get your daily name drop in. You know,
he was past. Well past. We almost 15 minutes. He was well past his name dropping quote. Yeah. Well past it. I thought it would come a few minutes ago.
I see the cat. I haven't even spoke to him yet.
But yeah, he's a phenomenal actor, and as are Jeffrey Wright and just about everybody in that film. So yeah, I love the film. I definitely. I mean, I walked away wanting more. Obviously, you know, that ending was different for sure, but I thought it was really well done. And
go ahead and spoil it, Avi. Go spoil it. I know. I see you want to. You're right on the
absolutely.
Edge. Go ahead and spoil the ending.
No, my name is not Shaun Fletcher. I don't spoil things for people.
I didn't spoil anything. Didn't spoil anything. Not none of y'all tuned in to watch Tracy Ellis Ross. Like, I'm sorry.
How do you know? There's a lot of Blackish fans out there, I'm sure, that they heard that she was in it, and
A whole lot, not on the movie posters yet, but anyway, it's a good movie. Go check it out, y'all. Go check it out.
All right, let's get into the top two. So this first topic is really, really wild. Danny, why don't you take us through it?
Yeah, so we it's kind of crazy, man, because I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. I actually thought I was in a time machine and went back to I'm trying to see what decade, what era I need to go back to.
50s.
Yeah, about 1952 somewhere. And
but then I guess back then there wouldn't have been a black superintendent.
Oh yeah, my bad.
wouldn't have been. Yeah. There's some elements of this that wouldn't exist.
Right.
Yeah, I just thought about it. It wouldn't be a black superintendent. Probably wouldn't be this much diversity at a high school, and we probably wouldn't have a lot of the elements surrounding the story. So basically, we have a high school in Madison, not Madison. That's the closest city because nobody's never heard of this city. Baraboo, Wisconsin. It's a city about 12,500 people, about an hour and 45 from Milwaukee, and about an hour away from Madison for all you Badger fans out there. So in this town, we got to get into the quirkiness of the town so you understand what we're dealing with. So it seems like this is the home of the Ringling Brother Barbary Circus. That's not funny because I grew up on that. So this is where this stuff happened, the circus, okay? This is the birthplace of that, okay? And also they have a famous lake in the United States. It's called Devil's Lake. I also filmed a big-time movie there, Julia Roberts and Nick Nolte, 1994. I Love Trouble. They filmed it there. So it got a little cachet. The Circus World Museum, for all you circus lovers, when you come to the United States or if you're here in the country, you go there to go to the Circus Museum because this is where the circus started in the United States. So just to give you a little backdrop on the city. So let's give you a little backdrop on the story. This school is not new to controversy. 2018, they had a viral photo of some students throwing up the Nazi sign, the old Hitler sign that'll get you canceled and everything cut off in the house, all the utilities. So they're no stranger to controversy. So obviously, this one is just as bad. It was racism. So we have a student who's crossing the stage. She's Caucasian. She's a senior. She's on stage, and she's about to shake the superintendent's hand, like all high school students do. And her dad, who's a Caucasian male, comes out the audience and says, "Don't touch her. Don't shake his hand." He disrupts the ceremony, and he pushes the superintendent's arm away. Like, don't shake my daughter's hand. It's an embarrassing moment. It's a viral moment. And his daughter just kind of stands there like, wow, my dad is up here on stage. It was very embarrassing, obviously. Obviously, the school district officials, I guess they were school district police or patrol or whatever they are out in that area, grabbed him. And we have a viral moment. That's why we're talking about it. But it's a couple of tidbits here. You read a couple of stories and they try to talk about the school district is having some issues with superintendent. I mean, the president of the school board with money and salaries. And it seems like they're trying to sugarcoat it instead of just saying this is plain on racism. They're looking for an out here and bringing up all these other scenarios because the dad didn't come out the stands and don't shake the Caucasian president who's being accused of an inflated salary and misappropriation or whatever he's in trouble for. He didn't do that. He came out the audience and said, "Hey, don't shake the black man's hand," basically. So all that other jargon and all the other stuff is a distraction to stray away from the good old-fashioned racism that's still brewing in 2014, like it's 1952. This is very unfortunate. When I saw it, I couldn't believe it because you don't really hear stuff like this, like coming out the audience, right? You see viral moments recently and they show, the graduation in Memphis, African-American graduation here and there, and they show us fighting and, making us look bad or constantly putting us on the media. But this story right here, they're kind of dumbing it down a little bit. And everybody's trying to get away from racism. I seem like, election time is coming. So they're not really using this. It's not something that they're going to use as the Republicans not using this as to get some votes. So, my thing is, I kind of like to know what I'm dealing with. Hidden racism is the worst. I prefer somebody let who they are, know your personnel. So now we know this individual. I don't know if it's his family, his block, because this is it seems like a rural area. But I like to know who's racist or what area is racist or what's going on. Some people like the hidden stuff. I don't like the phony stuff. I like the upfront stuff to know what I'm doing. If this dude, don't want nobody touching your daughter in a school, you need to go to a school where there's no black superintendent. You need to go to a school with no black teachers and no black students. We have a few out there, I'm sure, in this country. He needs to move wherever that may be. But I kind of like the in your face stuff instead of the behind your stuff myself.
Yeah, so I disagree on that one point. I want racist people to shut the fuck up. But Shaun, I'll pass it to you.
This is something that, and I saw it, full disclosure. Like I reach my black trauma limits pretty quickly these days, because one, we're just inundated by it everywhere we turn. There's black trauma somewhere on social media. Also, it's kind of in alignment with the work that I do, so I get my feel of it. So admittedly, I'd scrolled past this video many, many times when I saw it on my feed, but I got the gist of it all. This one is in absence of, and I'm gonna be real straight up with you. In absence of an explanation, I'm gonna go by what it looks like. Stone cold racism. It looks like it. I'm gonna go by the optics of it all. I'm gonna default to that. It looks like it. In absence of some sort of explanation that remotely passes the smell test, the racist smell test, I'm gonna go with that. And that's what you get. There's a lot of people I read in the community out there who are trying to refute the notion that racism was at the core of all of this. What do you want it to be? What do you want us to default to? It's also human nature for us to draw a conclusion. In absence of information, we're going to fill in the blanks, which I'm going to do. I am well capable of doing that. So when I look at this particular situation, so the guy decides to swat the hand away so his daughter doesn't shake the hands of the superintendent, who's a black man. However, the person who has the most open controversy, who is under recall right now, the school board president, he allowed his daughter to shake the white man's hand. All right. Who is, as of right now, like I said, and I'm a fair intellectual, even when it comes to racism and sexism and all those types of things. I'll hear you out until there's nothing else to hear. Right. Well, in this particular situation, when I'm just looking at the optics of it all, you allowed her to shake the hand of a person who was embroiled in scandal, who is under an open recall. And much of it, from what I'm reading, is about the misuse of taxpayer dollars, part of which went to Briggs, the person, the superintendent, black man, his salary, and another administrator's salary. Okay. Are you trying to claim that was your beef with Briggs? You're not going to go to the source of it, the man under recall for doing such thing. You got a problem with your daughter shaking the hand of a person who received it, potentially? Is that your rationale behind it? That doesn't pass the racist smell test for me. So as you're trying to unpack all of this, on top of what you mentioned, Danny, about some of the past, the recent past, that ain't even that far in the past, the recent past issues that school has had, it's hard for me to go any other route. And I try to be, and I've talked about this in previous episodes that we've had, I try not to be the dude that defaults to racism, because I think that's easy and lazy, even though in many times I'm usually right when I do. But in this type of instance, it's hard for me to view it any other way than that. And again, if the man is not in there, we don't get the same treatment, but they're withholding the dude's name out of protection for the kid. They don't care. This is a black person. His name was Roscoe Wallace, And now the kid is getting abused.
He lives at 3427 West Elm Drive.
West Elm Drive. All that. People calling the house, showing up to when it's a black person or another person of color who is the perpetrator of something nonsensical. They don't have no problem with outing us. They think about protecting the kid. When I read that part in all these articles that they not putting the man's name out there to protect the daughter, that's another issue I got with the way this country works and racism in the it is not applied the same across races, and that's undeniable. And even in this particular situation, so there's obviously I would assume there's more that's gonna come out of it because the law is involved now. I'm assuming this unnamed dude is going to eventually come out and try to defend himself and his actions. I'm sure he and or his legal defense is going to cook up some beef he got with the dude. And unless you come up with something that passes the racist smell test, brother, it is what it is. If it looked like a duck and quack like a duck, it's probably a duck, man. You're probably a racist duck. So that's I'm curious what else is going to come out of this. And hopefully there will be some more, so we don't just have to depend on what we saw in that video.
Some moving signs.
Right now, that's all we have to go off of.
Yeah, the racist right wing, the Republican wing of the country now, they'd be like, it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, but it's actually an eagle. If you look closely, and sometimes it's a tiger. If you just look a little closer.
It's not only an eagle, it's a patriot. And how dare you go against patriotism in this country? You don't belong here anyway. They'll go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, so it is hard to view this as anything other than that unless some more information comes out that these two men, the father of the woman who, as you said, his name is being withheld conveniently for him, and Dr. Rainey Briggs, who's the superintendent. So he didn't just slap his hand away. He walked on stage and pushed him away completely. Wow. He walked on the stage and it's like a security guard, like a bouncer at a club, like comes and escorts you away from the door. That's like what this was. There's a line of school officials there, 5 of them white, and then Dr. Rainey Briggs, who was the black dude, who was the superintendent. He was appointed in 2021. At the time, the district served more than 2,800 students, only 1.6 of whom were black. Less than 2%.
How many is that in numbers? Let's do the math.
Well,
so it's less than 100 of them?
Well, 1% of 100 is 1. 1% of 1,000 is 10, so that means 1% of 2,000 is 20. So like less than it's almost 3,000 students. So let me see, 10, 20, 30. So like 50 something, like less than 60,
which is not far fetched at all.
Less than 60 out of 2,800. So
well, there you go, right?
Did they move? But an NCES report from 2024 this year revealed that 2,701 students are currently enrolled in Baraboo schools. Approximately 90% of them are white, 4% are Hispanic or Latino, and 1% are black.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, that's about 27 out of 2,700. So that's the kind of district we're dealing with. And so when this man comes, this white dude comes on stage, while his daughter is shaking, she is in the middle of walking the stage. Let's just paint the picture very clearly. Your daughter is in the middle of walking the stage on her high school graduation day. And as she's shaking the first person's hand, you come up there and make an ass out of yourself and embarrass not only yourself, but her and your entire family. While his name is not in the public eye yet, everyone in that town knows who he is. And I'm sure this has been circulating in the subject of conversation in that town at every dinner table. So he completely makes an ass out of himself and ruins his daughter's graduation day. Why would he do that? And it does look like he said, I don't want you touching him. I don't want you touching her. And so you knew the superintendent was black before, right? Or maybe this was your first time. You're not very involved in her school activities, not very knowledgeable about your daughter's school district. I can see maybe you didn't know that the superintendent was black before graduation day. I can see that being possible. But then you show up to the graduation, she's the first one to walk the stage. You've seen every other, is her last name Aardvark or something? Because, they go in alphabetical order. And so unless she's the first one to walk the stage, then you've seen other students walking across the line and shaking everyone's hand, including the black superintendent. So why at the moment she's walking the stage, you decide to go up there? Why not before that? You go up to her and say, listen, you're not walking the stage, whatever. You can make up.
She can still graduate without participating in the ceremony.
Yeah. And so is it that I'm not sure if it's because you think the way that Black people are portrayed, and especially probably in these small towns in which we're hypersexualized, you think that if she touches this Black man, she's going to get just hypnotized and just mesmerized, and she's going to want to have sex with him. I'm not sure what your deal is, but it looks like stone cold racism. And until we get more information, we won't know. And hopefully we will get more information, but we might not.
Right.
And this dude was arrested. Hopefully he is prosecuted and held to account to the full extent of the law.
He got a court appearance in August.
Well, and he's probably with a judge who like, yeah, I get it, buddy. I get it. It's okay. You know, you had a bad day. It's okay. Whereas if a Black dude would do this in an all white district like that, like, listen, you're disorderly. This is completely unacceptable. You're going to go to prison for this. But we know that there are two systems of justice, and the father who is the perpetrator in this case is probably the beneficiary of that in a town like this, especially. So
yeah, I don't know that much about the town. I know a little bit about Wisconsin, but I don't know about the town.
Also,
so.
in addition to the incident that Danny mentioned, in which students were seen doing the Nazi salute, that was in 2018. In 2020, a Black student named Dazia Banks, who attended Barbu schools, filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the district, alleging a pattern of racial discrimination that the school officials ignored. The complaint detailed instances in which Banks was taunted and racially harassed by classmates and also sexually assaulted by a classmate. The district settled with that Black student the next year for almost $900,000. So this district has a recent history of racial, not only just accusations, but actions. When you have a group of white students on camera doing the Nazi salute, and then the school district superintendent at the time, Lori Mueller, she apologized and said the photo was rightfully described as hateful, frightening, and disappointing, but added that the district was in no position to punish the students for their actions due to their First Amendment rights. Your First Amendment rights don't mean that you get to do anything anywhere. You can still say, hey, you're expelled for this shit. That's not messing with somebody's First Amendment rights when they do some racist shit at school. They don't get to just do that and claim First Amendment rights. So but
that's the culture there. That's the culture there.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. This district has shown.
Shaun, you told me that this was a purple state. So I remember before we had a conversation about Wisconsin.
Yeah, right? but California is a blue state, and there are still racist areas in California.
I know. We've had some situations in Orange County, and a couple of situations, a couple of other places. But it's still reprimation, right?
But nationwide, the more rural you get, the more likely you are to encounter racism.
You can get away. Okay.
Even in California. So, and if you got to think, if the town is made up of people who are like-minded, then there's not going to be reprimation in that case, most likely. Because those are people running
the way the judicial system works. Also,
why live here though? Like, if your family doesn't own a business, or if your family hasn't been there a couple of generations, or like, what to me, and I hate to say this, but let them have it. Why are the few African American people that reside in this community still taking up residency there in a district that has no diversity? And obviously, they're not supporting and protecting even.
Well, you don't know people's circumstances. You never know. You never know anyone.
No, that's what I'm. No, I understand that, because it's so many cheap places to live around the country. That's why everybody's flocking to Texas. Let me stop. But I'm just saying, Nevada, Arizona, Texas. There's other cheap places around the country that have better lifestyles than living in this.
Yeah, but it's
complicated.
It's easy. It's easy for someone on the outside to say, "Why don't you just move?" When you don't know that family circumstances. I mean, it's not easy to pick up and move your family. You may have a job there. You don't know. And you don't know why
you may have centuries of roots there too.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not hard to. Man, have y'all heard of or read the book "The Warmth of Other Suns" by Isabel Wilkerson?
No, you mentioned that before though.
Yeah, y'all should check it out, man. It kind of orbits this conversation that we're talking about of how Black people in particular got to many parts, the United States, obviously slavery, obviously when the Emancipation Proclamation and slaves were freed and we migrated. And a lot of it goes to the economic system. to the judicial system, to policing, to a lot of different factors that went into why you see. I mean, you can't meet very many people who don't have some relative from the South, that don't have some commonality of Alabama, of Arkansas, of Mississippi, of all these types of places, man. And we just scattered throughout
the Great Migration, man.
For a lot of different reasons, right? And we settled in those places and we built life there. And even in places like Wisconsin, keep in mind, when a lot of these families settled down in these places, wasn't no good place. There was no, why don't you just leave it to them? Right? It was, and now all of that continues and perpetuates and permeates throughout, time and generations, to where you look up and be like, man, why are my people still live in St. Louis? Why didn't everybody just come out west? Why didn't everybody go to the east or go up north where opportunity is? Once you got roots, it's hard to uproot them for many different reasons. Not just your village is there and safety is there and support is there, but even your economic viability a lot of times, man, is there where the nucleus was built, right? So as I've moved around the country, man, and reflected on decisions that were made and what I gave up when doing those types of things and gained, reading that book it helped connect some dots in my thinking around that. And there are a lot of people, man, that it is harder to leave. I don't care if it is Jackson, Mississippi, where they struggle to get clean water a lot of times. Where Dion, when he was at Jackson State, did that whole push to get clean water and resources and all that stuff. You just say, why don't people just up and leave? How? And if I did, how am I going to survive when I go to that new place? So it's so complicated, man. And it's fascinating. Anyway, man, I don't go on that tangent, but that book is really, really good about sort of the origins of that.
Yeah. And also just that feeling of home. Wherever you were born and raised, sometimes just feels like home. And it's easy. It may be easy for people in other countries to say, why don't people in the United States just move to another country, with it being the place that it is, with all the racism that we encounter here sometimes, and all the gun violence. No one in the country is safe from the threat of gun violence. So I'm sure a lot of other people think, why don't you just leave? But this is our home, and around the world, horrible things happen and people stay because that's their home. And it's hard for people to just leave what they consider to be their home.
I remember that push when, was it Nas? Was it in Belly? Went to Africa at the end of it? And everybody, it was one of those movies. I think it was Belly when Nas went to.
I don't remember that movie at all.
But second Hype Williams promo in this episode. But
this episode of Top 2 is sponsored by Hype Williams.
By Hype Williams. But it's similar to that when people talk about why don't Black people go back to, not on some racist stuff, but some familiarity. If home is Africa, go back to Africa. I don't know, I know one person who lives in South Africa. I have no ties, no connect outside of my deep lineage in Africa. If I went back there, to Abby's point, it ain't home. It's home in terms of my roots. Something deep within my lineage connects to it. I'm sure if I ever step foot, whatever, because I want to go there, I've never been. If ever I step foot on the continent, I would assume that there would be some sort of grounding, some sort of ancestral connectivity I would feel there.
Yeah.
But in terms of like setting up shop,
right,
the basics of setting up shop, no, I don't know nobody there. I would probably struggle for a while until I figured it all out. It's the basic. So you're right when it comes down to, home and setting up shop and uprooting and going other places, man. I done it a few times. It ain't easy.
Yeah, man, it's not. And I went to a few colleges, and at each one I went to, I didn't know anybody there. And that's just a temporary situation. And even still, it takes adjustment and it's difficult. But let's go on to our second topic. Shaun, why don't you lead us through this one?
So the USA women's basketball roster has been set, hot off the presses. All right. It is, as of this recording, about a couple hours ago, it was dropped. And it's already setting the interwebs and social media ablaze right now for one particular reason. So when the 2024 Paris Olympics kicks off, there will be a full-on roster that is devoid of one Caitlin Clark. It will not have Caitlin Clark on it. So, and I'll just list the names of those who are on it for point of reference as we mix it up. So, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum, Brittany Griner, shout out to Brittany Griner, Drew Lloyd, Diana Taurasi, who is the oldest player in the WNBA and the NBA now that Udonis hasn't retired. Chelsea Gray, Nafreesha Collier, Alyssa Thomas, Jackie Young, Kalia Copper rounds out the roster. So Caitlin Clark is not on it. As we all know, Caitlin Clark is a lightning rod of a figure coming into the WNBA. Her stardom at the University of Iowa is unquestioned. You cannot question what she brought to the women's game. And that hype is just magnified when she stepped onto the WNBA stage after being the number 1 overall pick to the Indiana Fever. So she has had an up and down first few weeks. The Indiana Fever, again, played the most games in the shortest amount of days of any WNBA team to kick things off. Nonetheless, she is setting new standards for viewership, but also attendance. On Friday night, the Indiana Fever was out in the DMV, a place I love and miss, to play the Washington Mystics. They had to move that game, very similar to many of the games that the Indiana Fever have played these first month and a half of the WNBA season. They had to move that game from the original arena where the Mystics play to the large arena where the Wizards play. That is around a 16,000 seat difference. And they sold that out in 30 minutes because she is box office everywhere she goes. So she will not be in Paris on that roster. So now a lot of folks on the internet are back and forth about whether she should have been left off of it. What is the merit? What is the rationale? What's the rubric of it all? And since we've been recording, I've been feverishly trying to get different perspectives on it because, again, it literally is hot off the press. This was just announced a little while ago today. But so apparently 2 anonymous sources. I love anonymous. So don't we all love anonymous? We love anonymous sources, right? They said, and these are both longtime U.S. basketball veterans, as to be said with decades of experience in the women's game. They said that there were concerns over how Caitlin Clark's millions of fans would react to what would likely be limited playing time. And I just listed the roster on a stacked roster. They said that was apparently a factor in the decision-making as well. So my take on it is there's a couple ways of looking at it. One is the draw, okay? They're going to play exhibition games and all that stuff. One is the draw of Caitlin Clark that I just kind of laid out some of it. Everywhere she goes, she's like the Beatles, as of right now, at least. Sells out arenas, all that stuff. Record-breaking shoe deals, all of that. I get it. Then there is the play. If you tell me that by talent, she should be on their roster, who you taking off is what you got to tell me, all right? Because the first month and a half of her WNBA career doesn't merit her being on the Olympic roster at all on the strength of play. And she missed training camp because they were in the Final Four. So she didn't even get to go show it on the court. All right. Not her fault. She chose what she should have, in my opinion, to represent her team in the women's NCAA Final Four. All right. So, but the issue for me is, y'all remember back when Christian Laettner got put on the original Dream Team? Christian Laettner, the love to hate Duke.
Man, I don't remember that.
So when Christian Laettner over Shaq back in 1992.
Oh Lord.
Shaq coming out of LSU and Christian Laettner coming out of Duke. All right. So the 1992 Dream, the original Dream Team. There's been a whole bunch of iterations after the original Dream Team.
With Magic.
With Jordan, Bird,
MJ,
Magic, Karl Malone,
crazy.
all of them. The one where that launched the famous meme of Isaiah Thomas, who said, "I met the criteria, but somehow I was still left off." He's talking about that team. He's talking about the Dream Team. He was left off the Dream Team. All right. He's talking about the Dream Team.
He's still in over it to this day. He's not over it.
He's still in over it to this day. And he shouldn't be, with the way that they're saying that it went down. Jordan basically said, "I don't want him on the team. It's me or him." And who you going to pick? So with their famous beat.
Yes, Michael, you got it.
You got it. You got it. You got it, Michael. So Christian Laettner, and I remember it. I remember it to this day when Christian Laettner was in. I thought it was the whitest of white privilege when it came down, because Shaq, he was a bigger figure than Shaq from a popularity standpoint. He was at a popular national championship winning. He was player of the year, Naismith, all that type of stuff. But Shaq clearly would have run circles around. And it was obvious that Shaq was going to have a better pro career. But they said this is about the here and now. All right, we named him to the team. He was kind of like the baggage carrier. He didn't play at all, didn't none of that stuff, and he was named to the team. I think there are some parallels, not completely. It's a different day and age. I mean, this is 32 years since then. You have now Caitlin Clark, who would not have earned her way onto this roster if she was named to it. You could not really justify her getting heavy minutes at all right, on this international stage. Yet, she's box office everywhere she goes. Internationally, I don't know about that. I don't have the data to say if she's actually drawing international attention. Here in the U.S., yes. Last I checked, it's the Olympics and it's Paris. It's on an international stage. It ain't the United States, all right, selling out arenas because of her. So I think it's a lot of continuation of the narrative that's been built around Caitlin Clark since she came into the WNBA. We talked about the coddling of her and with the Kennedy Carter issue last week, and it coming out, she's hated and there's jealousy and there's all these types of things. That's why she's being treated the way she's being treated. No, it's not. That's been refuted. And even Caitlin Clark refuted that this week. I disagree with the notion that she's left off of the roster because of some continuation of the Caitlin Clark hate. I totally disagree with that. I think if you're going on the strength of talent, which we should, and you also allow it to factor that this is a international game, not domestic, being played here in the U.S. This ain't the Atlanta Olympics, 1996. You'd be hard pressed to make a valid case to say she should have taken somebody who's on the roster off the roster. A case can be made. I don't know how valid it would be. So that's something that crossed my radar. I'm curious to get y'all take if it was fair or foul as to why she was left off. People saying snubbed the headlines. Was she snubbed? What y'all think?
Was she snubbed, Danny?
It's complicated, man, because USA basketball is political anyway. That's what people got to understand. And that's why certain athletes participate in that at an earlier age. And they have first dibs, so to speak, to continue to play on USA basketball. They always have a tryout, but it's an invitation only. And once you're on team and, your game kind of stays relevant and you progress somewhat, you are grandfathered in. And that's why they always mention, if you look at USA basketball under a certain age group, they say, has former experience on USA basketball team, 15U, this, that, and so it's political. And she didn't go to the trials. So let's just put it out there. She goes to the trials, she's on this team 100%.
But if it was political, Danny, wouldn't she be on the team if it was political?
No. Well, that's what I was getting to. She's going to probably be an alternate. If somebody goes down, they'll probably put her on a team.
And Chelsea Gray injured right now. I know she's about to take Chelsea Gray's spot.
Well, but no, but I'm just saying she'll be an alternate.
Right.
More than likely, she'll be an alternate. And she'll probably be on the team. And we got to understand, and like I said, if she goes to to training camp. She's on his team. And she couldn't go to training camp because Iowa was in the Final Four. So they need to, it's like a perfect storm, like a gray, super gray area, because, the Olympics is only every 4 years. So how many potential women's basketball players that are that good are going to be in the Final Four and miss training camp? I mean, this is once in a blue moon, So it happened. But people projected this would happen. People were talking about this. If you Google it and look it up, it'll say, what would happen if, and everybody was a consensus, Caitlin would make the team, even though she's participating with Iowa and is going to miss camp. Everybody just assumed, okay? But what you didn't assume is the backlash. And let's put it out there. It's backlash against this young lady. We know that. But that's warranted. It comes with the game. It's backlash with her, with casual fans, more so than real fans, and rightfully so. It's physical, it's verbal on social media. You have trolls, it's propaganda, and a lot of it has to do with race, unfortunately. Magic Bird wasn't as racial as this. They were both considered saviors for the NBA. Crazy how this young lady is not considered the same. Let's just put it out there, even though you have Brinks and you have some other stellar athletes, it's her and Reese. Just be real. Her and Reese's situation with the ring the year before catapulted this whole situation along with her play. I mean, Caitlin Clark, I've been around a long time. I've been watching women's basketball since 1982, 81. And she's one of the best players I've ever seen, and clearly one of the best shooters. And she's probably going to be an alternate. But like I said, if she goes to the national training camp, if Iowa doesn't go to the Final Four and she is able to participate in this camp, I think she'd be on this team because of her shooting. But let's put it out there right now. She is single-handedly filling up arenas and filling owners' pockets. The WNBA has been in the red since its inception. The WNBA has been a dumpster fire in terms of support, in terms of revenue sharing, in terms of not having charter plane, they're on commercial flights, the tall girls, or ain't even got the exit row. They ain't been treating these ladies like professional athletes. They've been treating these ladies like dogs. They wrong for this. I love and respect women's athletics to the fullest, man. I've coached it. I love them. And this is unfortunate. And I'm sorry that Caitlin Clark is being used as a pawn. Such a great talent that's being used as a pawn because of her race and because of her accolades. And let's be honest, and she's brash, right?
So you think she should be on the team, is what you're saying?
No, I'm saying she didn't get an opportunity to try out for the team, so I can't just say she'll be on the team. But it would be nice if she was an alternate. And I'm going to be honest with you. Even though A'ja Wilson is the best basketball player in the world, A'ja Wilson ain't filling up arenas like that. A'ja Wilson has been in the WNBA and ain't near charter flight. She ain't selling out the arenas like this young lady. Ain't nobody watching. I mean, we all know who A'ja Wilson is. A'ja Wilson bad. She's the best girl in the world. But the attention for the casual fan, A'ja Wilson wasn't pulling that. So I'm just telling you right now, if she played on this team, the world will be watching, and she will catapult the WNBA to a global brand, 100%.
Why do you think the world will be watching? Because of talent?
Oh my God!
Don't nobody know her. She's not an international draw, though.
No, she's about to be.
But that's what I'm saying. On the strength of what?
On the strength of her social media, on the strength of people talking. You got to understand, it's almost like the Kardashian effect, except this girl got talent. And that's not knocking the Kardashians. But I'm just saying, social media and going viral runs the world at this point. You could become a global icon overnight and a United States icon overnight just on social media. And the 30 points and the 7 threes, I mean, she's already breaking records. Forget the 8 turnovers. So you got to understand, if she's on this team, it's going to be thousands and thousands of fans trying to get her autograph from all over the world. And I'm going to be honest with you, for women's basketball, even if they win the gold medal,
they've won the gold medal
every. If this young lady was on the team, I think if this young lady was on the team, it just takes women's basketball to another level. And let's write it. Like let's appreciate it and write it and stop being so constructive criticism and all that and take race out of it.
Like, so who's she gonna play over against, Danny? Who's she gonna play over?
I don't care about her playing. She just needs to be on the team.
Well, that's what they were saying. That's what these anonymous sources were playing.
No, I'm saying. No, I'm just saying. I'm sure
is that gonna be a draw?
Alternate soon.
But no, I'm saying. But I'm saying if she's not an alternate, like if we're staying in this, if she should be or shouldn't be on the team conversation, if she's not an alternate, and if we were saying she should be on the team, one, we got to say who we're gonna take off. That's true. Then we're gonna say, okay, well, if she was on the team, who's she gonna play? Who's she gonna get minutes from?
But in the Olympics, it ain't about the minutes. In the Olympics, you help your country. Even if you get on the court, it's about being on the team. We all been watching the Olympics all our lives.
Yeah, I know. But again, if you had a box office talent and you're talking about the draw, she would have. If people were selling out arenas to come and see Caitlin Clark, she can't be riding the bench. That's where the politics is going to come in. So now you got to play her.
Well, guess what? She's going to be on the 2028 team, and it's here in Los Angeles, and it's going to be off because it's going to be domestic. And it's going to be something women's basketball internationally has never, ever seen in history when she's on that team in 2028. She's going to be on the team in 2028, and she's going to play. We all know that.
Well, I mean, that's light years from now. You're right about that. But we talking about 2024,
it ain't like years. It's 4 years.
It is, but a lot is going to change. She's going to be well established at that point, and it's going to be here in the US.
I understand that, but she's going to take it to another level. It's the level that
Danny, you moving the goalposts, man.
I'm just telling you.
You moving the goalposts, man.
Listen, hold on. Remember, we were talking about women's basketball earlier, and I said the best thing in sports in Southern California was women's basketball, and I was right. I've been watching this girl for a few years, and I've been saying it. Because of how she moves, how she shoots, it's hard to play like that. You understand what I'm saying? And she has a lot of internal hate with this WNBA and a lot of these ladies. You know, ladies, people and humans in general get emotional and it's a lot of stuff. But we know with our ladies, with the competition, it's just always something anyway. And don't put athletics in it. So you can only imagine what's going on in locker rooms, the pushing and all that stuff. Forget all that. That's part of competition. But she got a whole – this young lady has – I've never seen a female athlete with this much going on in my entire life. This is ridiculous what we're doing. We can't even enjoy it. They're destroying basketball. These casual fans need to go back, watch baseball, soccer. Football season's coming soon. You football people. I'm not a football guy. I'm just saying. Whatever. I'm just saying they need to go watch some football, watch those guys, and nobody know who they are unless they're the stars. They got to wear numbers on their jersey and take the helmet off. Go watch those guys or go watch boring baseball.
Dang, the slander.
I'm just saying, okay. Let's be real here, right?
That ain't real. Football is the most profitable sport in the world outside of international soccer. It's a different conversation, but you international
soccer is the number one sport in the world.
No, but the most profitable is the National Football League. Look it up. The most profitable league in the world is the National Football League.
But it's not the best sport in the world. It's not even
now that's subjective. Right? Again, you're moving the goalposts. You keep moving the goalposts, man. Now you're saying best. You just said profitable.
Rock with football like
you just said but you're moving the goalposts, Danny. I know. You're moving the goalposts, man. And you know I ain't gonna let you move the goalposts.
Baseball and basketball.
You're moving the goalposts. It ain't even baseball.
All baseball and basketball.
The data says the National Football League. I said league. I didn't say sport. League is the most profitable in the world. The most popular is, I believe, the Spanish league soccer, because the international soccer leagues, they have multiple leagues. It's not just this aggregate. Yeah, that's why you can't just say soccer or football, whatever they call it. But you can't just say that. The data show. That's why the NFL can be the most profitable league in the world, because you got to disaggregate the leagues over there. There is no one soccer league that's more profitable than the NFL. But the NBA is way down the list too, by the way.
300 million people watched the cricket game with India recently.
What does that got to do with anything you talking about, Dan?
And it's no money generated.
You got it, man.
No money generated.
You got it, man. I can't keep up with the goalposts you moving, man.
Viewership versus making money is two different things. 300 million watch cricket.
What are we talking about? I just told you the most profitable league in the world is the NFL. You can't change that.
No, but I'm just saying. But we talking about viewership too, right? In this case,
we weren't talking
records. No, I'm just saying. No, but let's talk viewership here. No, let's talk viewership.
All right.
More people are watching Caitlin Clark in the Fever and selling out arenas than any other sport right now that's going right now in the United States. Am I right?
There's no other sport going right now.
Baseball, hockey.
Okay, again, you losing me, man.
Who's playing tonight in hockey?
You're totally losing me.
No, seriously. Who playing
Did I
tonight?
ever make an argument?
No, I'm asking
Who brought
you.
up soccer?
Do you
Who brought
know
up
who's
hockey?
playing tonight in the NHL?
I haven't watched a hockey game in 28
I ain't
years.
watched a hockey game since Brett Hull played for the St. Louis Blues in '93. No.
Okay, can y'all let me know any stats from any professional
You
sports
moving the goalposts. So.
No, seriously, I'm asking y'all. I'm asking for
I can tell you Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers pitched 7 scoreless innings against the Yankees, and he allowed 2 hits, 2 walks, and he had 7 strikeouts.
You know that because you're a Dodger fan. You from LA. Nobody don't care about the Dodgers around the country. They hate us.
I'm trying to figure out your overall point.
Listen,
what's the
everybody
point?
knows Caitlin Clark had 30 points the other day and 7 threes. Everybody, the whole country. It's all over the media.
Everybody don't know that.
Just like you just made a blanket assertion about what Avi said. You making a blanket assertion about everybody knows Caitlin Clark.
Listen,
they don't.
You are a basketball fan. That's why you know that.
Yes, why you know that.
She broke the record. She tied the record 7 threes.
And don't nobody know that.
Man, she was killing. Listen, man. Listen. You put this girl on the team, and the whole country, everybody gonna have a flag in front of their house.
I disagree with it. I do. I disagree. It's a lot of people, man. Again, if we get caught in these echo chambers, if you zoom out of these echo chambers of sport and then specifics of sport, there's a whole swath of the country who want women's basketball not to exist, who don't care, who just waiting on the men.
Hey,
there's a bunch of them.
Awful.
And that's why I'm saying, if we get caught in our little echo chambers and we start gleaning and saying that's how the world views it, it's wrong. Many are like, the WNBA shouldn't even be discussed right now if you really zoom out of it all. So that's why I'm saying, man. And even if we project it to 2028, man, I think it's a good conversation at some point. Now, I ain't necessarily talking about bringing it up today. I would venture to say my bet, if we're projecting, since you brought up 2028, I don't think Caitlin Clark is going to be as popular in 2028 as she is right now. I don't think she will be. I don't think it will be. And here's why I'm gonna tell you that. 30. Here's why I think that. I don't think she's gonna be the best player out this draft. Like, mark this tape. We can review it way in the future. All right, put it in time capsule. I think Cameron Brink is gonna be the best player out of this draft. I think, when it comes down to it, the Indiana Fever, and we don't know where the WNBA is going to go in terms of free agency and all that type, and expansion and all that stuff. It's going to look totally different in 2028. With expansion, the roster is going to be bigger. You're going to have free agency moving. You're going to have a lot of stuff. Things are going to be different in 2028. Huge different. I think because of that, the Caitlin Clark effect is not going to be as consuming as it is right now. I think unless she evolves her game significantly, I think that she's going to regress to the mean at some point to where she is a really good, potentially Sabrina Ionescu type of figure. Sabrina is great. She ain't selling out arenas. I think when this whole she's going to come in and be the Steph Curry of the WNBA starts to wear off, and she ain't getting 30 shots a game, man, ain't no way she gonna still be that popular at that point. I absolutely could see her regressing to the mean. I hope she stays the figure that she is. I do. But you about to see Paige come in the league. You're gonna see Juju come in the league. You about to see a whole bunch of heavy hitters come into. No, we talking about Caitlin Clark though, Danny. I'm saying
that's going to help Caitlin,
but I'm saying that's going to regress her back to the mean of popularity.
I don't know, because if you remember Magic and Bird, so if you go back to 80-81, right? They had Doc. Remember when Magic played against Doc?
Yeah,
and he jumped center, he had the 42, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you remember Doc was the face of the league, basically. Remember?
Yeah, Magic said he wasn't.
Yeah. So remember when Magic and Bird, the weapons came out, choose your weapons with the poster back to back. And then they played the Lakers played them, and it was clotheslining, hard fouls. LA, Boston hate, the racism, black right, and then they became the face of the league, right?
Yeah.
Then you got to understand, Moses was still in the league. Nobody wouldn't even talk about Moses like that. Drexler came
eventually
in.
They took over.
About Drexler.
Yeah, eventually Bird and Magic took over.
Okay, and then Mike came in. Now it's Mike against Magic, Mike against Bird, right? then
Isaiah would disagree with that. But
I'm just saying. Then Isaiah against Magic, Isaiah against Jordan. So it's gonna be the same thing. Juju.
Isaiah thinks Isaiah was the best player of all time. Of course, Isaiah gonna disagree with that.
Isaiah thinks that y'all scrubbing them from that little tweener between Bird and Magic and now the Jordan era. He trying to say that who you think Jordan took it from? The Pistons.
Isaiah's a monster.
He trying to get and Isaiah ain't wrong. Now he seems jaded when he say it, but Isaiah ain't wrong that we scrubbing, we just ignoring that little sliver of the 80s and super early 90s when the bad boy Pistons had they run. We skipped from the Jordan or from the Bird Magic era all the way to Jordan. He got the point that I ain't trying to get you off your point.
Don't nobody care. Don't nobody care about the Pistons. That's why.
You're right. You're right, man. I'm just hold on.
Yeah, I ain't trying to get you off your
point. The reason why Isaiah is having the issues, right? The Olympic team and people leaving him off and trying to take his cachet away is because of his delivery, his persona, his attitude, and arrogance, and
all of them.
So all that.
Wasn't nobody checking for Vinny the microwave?
But when you meet Zeke and talk to him personally one-on-one, and you have good rapport with him, then you beg to differ, right? Talk to this cat a lot of times. It's like, this dude is cool, but you see him with his counterparts, you see him in the interviews, and then you hear about the stuff, how he does his business behind, and you're like, oh man. So they're trying to erase this cat. And I hate to say it, when you act like that, that's what happens, right? But at the end of the day, the Pistons is one of the greatest organizations and one of the greatest teams, eras. The dude is one of the best point guards ever. He should have been on that Olympic team, and he's one of the greatest to ever play, period.
Oh, he definitely should have been over John Stockton. He should have. But the Caitlin Clark parallel you was making.
She's going to be big time. She's going to be the face of basketball on
I don't think she will, man. Let's mark the tape.
It may not be due to her game. It may not be due to her game. Hopefully her game continues to rise. But if it doesn't, I see her cachet and this boom going for at least 3 years.
The ad agencies ain't checking for her personality. They checking for her game. If her game ain't speaking for her, she ain't got nothing else left,
that's not necessarily true. Ad agencies are checking for popularity.
And that's what I'm saying. Her game is what's making her popular. That's my point. Danny said it may not be her game that keeps her up there. I'm saying if her game is not keeping her up there,
if she's still selling out arenas, then the ad agencies are going to want a piece of that.
Whether
or not she's putting up 10 points or 30. Whether she's putting up 10 points or 30.
I'm saying if she's putting up 10 in 4 years, ain't nobody selling out arenas for her. That's the point I was making.
They are. Oh, yes, they are.
On the strength of what?
Ask Kardashian that.
Hey, no.
You lost me again with that.
Now, it was funny because earlier.
Hey, look at Ray J on Club Shay Shay. He'll tell you why.
Danny said earlier.
About to make it messy.
No, you can build your brand. The Kardashians are masterful.
But I think that's a false equivalency though. What Caitlyn got? Personality? You checking in for her personality?
Listen, man. Caitlyn
no shade on her personality, but
if us three had an investment right now and we was able to do an autograph signing or a basketball girls clinic, we could charge $500 to $1,000 per kid. 200 kids, we can make $700 million overnight
in 4 years.
Right now we could.
No, in 4 years, Paige Buchers is going to be more popular than Caitlin Clark.
She don't have the same cachet.
I'm projecting out.
The only person that can do that is Juju because she's from LA and her background and her story, but she's black. I hate to say that. I hate to say that. Race.
What does LA have to do, brother? Y'all losing me with it.
Don't say y'all. What's the part?
I have to do it
all day because when you come from LA and you can play and you have a background, it's different than coming from some of these other little places. Where Paige Buchers from? Where's she from? You don't even know where she's from. Where's she from?
Because it don't matter. That's the point I'm making. It don't matter.
Juju's great-grandmother was a civil rights activist. She grew up in one of the worst cities in history. The riots was there. She got the social activism. The parents.
Who's gonna care about that?
That's what they're promoting right now.
Who's gonna care about that?
I'm just telling you, man. You know, people jump on that civility stuff. They jump on that nonprofit and all that other stuff. They love that. People love that. Juju got all that. Juju ain't just not a basketball player. Juju in the streets, she in the community.
I'm not knocking Juju at all. I'm just saying she ain't gonna be popular on the strength of being from LA.
No, there's got to be more to it. LA helps because she's from a major city and she's been getting the attention and she knows how to handle herself and she got swag. She's smooth and she's beautiful and she got swag. She's real cool. Like LA cats, real cool, smooth gangster. She got that gangster. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. Paige is nice, but Paige don't have the same swag. I'm just telling you.
All right, so Danny, you said something funny earlier. You said that Caitlin Clark was like the Kardashians, but with talent. He said, but no shade to the Kardashians.
But no shade.
That's like saying the Kardashians are completely fucking talentless, but no shade to the Kardashians.
But no shade.
No. They're talent. I'm talking about talent in terms of singing, dancing, acting. Right?
No. It's very clear. It's very clear what you meant. They have zero talent. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, so that comparison was making my point about Caitlin Clark. It really was. And what redeeming quality does she have outside of her jump shot?
So listen, last thing I'll say about this, Diana Taurasi is 137 years old. All right, now
42.
Balling though.
She's 137 years old.
Still balling.
And so now listen. Caitlin Clark averages more points, rebounds, and assists than Diana Taurasi. I'm just if we're making a case, I'm not saying that she should replace her.
I mean, more turnovers she averaged.
If we're making the case that someone should be on who she would replace, who Caitlin Clark would replace, she has more points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game. And Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark is fourth in the league in assists per game. I'm not saying she should be on it because as you guys have pointed out, she wasn't able to participate in the training camp because she was in the Final Four, in the NCAA Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I'm just saying, if we're making a case that she could be on it, you could make that case. So
should she be? Are you saying she should be?
I'm not saying she should be, because if you can't be in the training camp, then why should you be on the team? You shouldn't just be given it. You shouldn't be given it. This should be earned. And if she's just tying her shoestrings during the pregame, I mean, that's not going to be selling out arenas if we're not even seeing her on the court. So
Danny said it weird. That was my point. Danny said she's selling out, even if she just sit there chewing popcorn.
I tried to get a ticket. I couldn't get in. So I'm mad. I tried to get in. I couldn't even get in. Got girls everywhere. It's so much competition there. And you know what's funny, man? You know what's funny? Shout out to my LGBT community, man, because they're like, man, we had tickets day one. Y'all late. We been at the games.
Yo, hey, real talk, man.
Yeah, like, if y'all
did you see the 30 for 30? Did you see the 30 for 30 on the Title IX doc that they had last year? Dude, that was a fascinating little ad to that doc where they were specifically talking about like the New York Liberty back when Rebecca Lobo and all of them and Teresa Witherspoon was on the team. They were like, man, lesbian women were our target demo. Yeah. They was supporting the WNBA when none of y'all was watching us type of thing. It's a fascinating connection that they put. And they did it in a way that really only the WNBA could probably position. Otherwise, it sounds bad to do it that way. But they were like, they roll with us, man. Like we
have held the league. They have held many teams. I was with them at the sports game. I was sitting with. I know some of these. I coached some of these young ladies, and these ladies are diehard fans, and they were season ticket holders, and they've been supporting every single WNBA team for decades. And I'm just telling you, and now it's cachet to go to a WNBA game. Mm-hmm. And you got to respect the people that were there, right? It's just like our Latino fan base with the Dodgers here in LA. Shout out go to my Latino brothers and sisters. They've been holding the Dodgers win or lose or draw every year.
But you need everybody, though. You do need everybody.
I'm just telling you, we got to recognize some of these marginalized communities that are diehard sports fans and been spending their hard-earned money and time and taking time and money away from their families to support these teams, and they don't get the recognition as being loyal fan bases.
And to that point about the Dodgers, Fernando Valenzuela is one of the things that built that relationship between the Latino community in LA and the Dodgers. And so it's kind of similar with WNBA, because you have someone from your community, or in WNBA you have several from your community representing that sport at a high level. And so that's kind of what draws the fan base in. And it doesn't help that LA is the second biggest market in the world, and there are just so many people here to go to the games. And that's Dodgers year in, year out for the past I don't even know how many years, have led the league in attendance largely because of that. They're in one of the biggest markets, and so interesting conversation. Should Caitlin Clark be on the team? It's debatable. She didn't earn it, and so she's not on the team, and that seems fair to me. Anything else, fellas? I know that we were talking before the show about people crying on camera. Shaun,
don't call me out.
We were talking about it. We were talking about it before.
Don't call me out.
We can leave that.
I forget what the impetus was for that. I forget what.
I think you were just seeing people that were recording themselves crying, and it's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, I was on some tangent as I typically get on, and I was grinding an axe. I got many.
You don't want to share. You don't want to share it with the people. That's fine. We can keep that as an offline conversation. I got
many axes. No, I'm actually trying to jog my memory. I really am. But my overall gripe with it is every time I scroll social media. I think we were actually talking. We were prepping about the story that Danny brought up about the dad in Wisconsin. And I was saying that I've just kind of built a tolerance or not really a tolerance, an intolerance to trauma, just pervading social media. So I scroll past it a lot. And I think as I was going on that, I jumped on kind of my axe that I have to grind with it just seemed to be popular now for people to just turn on their camera and emote, like cry, like just on camera. And the hard part that is conflicting to me is that it's one thing to get emotional while you're making a bigger point about something. Like, I get that. And your camera's on. Cool. But it seems like it's popular now for content to like start recording yourself and just start breaking down. And I saw one today. I saw one this morning where the point the person was making, I felt it. I did. But and I don't know, in all fairness, if it was edited or whatever, but as soon as it starts auto playing, the person's like in tears. Like I struggle with that part about it. And no knock, if people want to do it, do it. It ain't really my thing.
You can go ahead and knock them.
No, it's not, because I'm not going to, because some people find inspiration and motivation from hearing other people's stories, and if that drives you to emotion, like visible emotion,
but that's different cool. Though. That's different than if you're only putting yourself. You're thinking to yourself, I'm going to cry on camera because I want some attention.
Like I want that.
Yeah, like I want that. I want to cry on camera. I want to bring myself to tears on camera just so people can and give me some sympathy or give me some empathy. And so
I struggle. Yeah, man.
It's lame. It's a really lame culture. It's a really lame social media culture. And people just doing anything for attention. It's all look at me. Look, I'm doing this. Look at me, I'm doing that. And people are so attention thirsty these days. And it's just whack to me. It's just gross.
And it gets conflated with the genuine emotion that's why I said, man, it's almost sinister to where, you got people who will turn on their camera, and I've seen people like not even say a word. They'll just cry and they'll put in the caption, I'm having a rough day. Right. I just wanted to share with y'all.
Right.
Like didn't say a word at all. They didn't say anything inspirational, anything motivational. They turned on their camera and they just broadcasted themselves crying and then put in the caption, having a rough day. Y'all stay strong. Like, for what? And different strokes for different folks, man. But I struggle. And that's the hard part of social media too, is that, sometimes a rotten apple spoils the bunch, where somebody who doesn't have pure intentions will spoil the perception of those who just genuinely felt like, this is my ministry. I'm going to record myself in a pure, genuine, authentic moment. And if I cry, I cry. If I don't, I don't. I happen to cry, but I'm sharing it anyway. It spoils that with the people who are just doing it for content.
Right.
And effect. So I'm not throwing shade at everybody, man. It seems like a movement. It seems like a social media movement that's happening. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, man. I don't know. We got enough trauma out there. We got enough people who are co-opting the purity of mental health and trying to encourage people and bring people out of dark places. There's enough labor that's going into people who genuinely trying to do it. Don't try to profit off of everything that's out there. That's my whole act. So again, man, don't be adding me or DMing me talking about you mental health shaming. No, I'm not.
No, of course not. Of course not. Yeah. It's as we said, that people are doing it for attention, and it's really just disgusting. Elsewhere, bitch ass Steve Bannon was ordered to report to prison on July 1st for his failure to submit to the subpoena by the January 6th committee. Stupidest fucking reason to ever go to jail, because you didn't want to go to court. Stupid. Stupid ass, bitch ass motherfucking Steve Bannon. Take your ass to jail. He's sentenced to 4 months, I believe, which will take him almost up to the election. Potentially important Trump voice will be in prison for 4 months leading up to the election. Will that make any difference? Probably not, but it makes me feel a little bit good. Anything else, guys?
Nah, that's it from my side.
Anything else, Danny, before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Hey, man, it's early, but we got to get out and vote, man, and stop listening to the propaganda, man. Teddy Riley and all you other people. I'm not putting people on the island because of who you vote for.
What did Teddy Riley say?
I think, man, you got to look it up, man.
I haven't heard anything about this.
Quick, man.
I saw that picture of 50 Cent making the rounds again when they called him 500 cents. One of the Republicans, his picture with Lauren Boebert in the Oval Office, I guess. I don't know if it's real or not, but it's going viral again. I'm assuming it was when Trump was in office. I don't know, but it had Lauren Boebert and 500 cents. One of these Republicans posted it, so it's coming around that 50 Cent is the ops. So I don't know if it's one of those. I don't know what Teddy Riley did.
I don't see anything.
Come on, Rex in effect.
I don't see anything under the Teddy Riley.
With Teddy Riley,
Google search, Danny.
Was he supporting former President Trump before?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to unnecessarily catch Teddy Riley.
I mean, you can look that up.
I don't know.
Support who you want to support. Just do it for the right reasons, and hopefully it unifies people. You know what I mean? If it messes up people, and we got to understand, man, because it's getting real serious now. And I mean, you had all these protests and everybody protesting. I ain't never seen so many protests before in my life. And I'm at my age. I've been here all my life. Everybody protesting. You got fake people. You got antagonizers. People just showing up to protest without even knowing what the topic is. Probably seen the dude on TV. What you here for? I don't know. What side do I go to? He probably go to one side, hold up a sign, put that sign in the bush, go to the other side, start a fight and leave. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just like, it makes, and that's what keeps people home from voting. I don't like that. I mean, it's hard to trust people, man. I mean, we got a border patrol agent just got in trouble with he's part of the cartel situation here. We saw that on the news. You saw the Burbank police drop a homeless guy off in North Hollywood. I mean, near the city council member's office. It's just like the people that are supposed to protect and help you, and the people that are doing it, and then they being questioned and they get exposed. So now people is like, forget the system. I can't change the system. They're corrupt. Let it just happen, and I'm gonna live my life personally. And I think we can't fall to that trap. I think everybody's voice matters. Every voice matters. See something, say something, and everybody's not corrupt. The system, believe in the system, trust the system, and we just got to improve the system, right? I mean, it's just everything's just falling apart, man. And that's why you got to stay focused and keep your eyes on the prize, man. And it's like now Jonte Porter talking about he's addicted, and I was addicted. I need some help. And, it's just a lot of people play the blame game, man. And it's like, when we knew all along, when you start prop bets, man, individuals can take the fall opposed to a team, and it'd be a scheme. That's why they probably got to take prop bets out of the NBA and out of collegiate basketball.
You just veered off into betting real quick.
But listen.
I tried to keep up. I'm just hanging on.
Listen. But the main thing, what I'm saying is, trust the process, because what's happening is
what process?
Just everything. I think a lot of NBA fans are questioning the NBA now. People always question college athletics, right? I'm just saying, people questioning law enforcement. I mean, people questioning border patrol agents now. Everything I just said.
Well, we've always questioned law enforcement since since the inception of law enforcement, since they were created to go get slaves.
The process also.
Since
some stuff I agree with what you said.
And in J. Edgar Hoover's FBI, we questioned law enforcement then when they assassinated Fred Hampton. So listen, man, I think there is, I don't know how the fuck we got here, but
I don't either, man. Daniel,
no,
Danny, the tour guide. Daniel, he gonna take you there. Daniel is the ultimate tour guide, man. He gonna take you everywhere.
I'm just saying, police dropping off homeless people. You're not supposed to see that.
Daniel, David Blaine, a topic on your ass. Just pull that shit out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're not supposed to see police dropping off homeless people. You're supposed to see them helping them people. Now they get sirens and houses.
Your favorite GOP governors was sending migrants to your favorite vacation spot of Martha's Vineyard. They've been doing that for a minute.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think that's all we got for Danny pulls up some random shit from 1981.
Hey, the 80s was the best, baby. Stop it.
Oh, the androgynous era.
Always a pleasure talking to y'all. And
no doubt.
It is Top 2. We come out with new episodes every Monday or Tuesday, depending on when the recording drops. But the beginning of the week, the beginning portion of the week is when our episodes drop. And we look forward to speaking with you every time we have the opportunity to speak into the mic. And please do review and follow the show, review and rate the show. And we always are grateful to have you here with us. All right, fellas, I will talk to you next week.
Peace.